I'm about to show you a salad you can make in under 5 minutes that you can keep in your refrigerator and eat all week long. You ready for this? Get excited. It's basically like a kale Caesar salad, but without any anchovies. It's delicious. So lately I've been making this salad that I'm kind of addicted to. And there's a couple things that I really love about it that I want to share with you. First of all, it's super easy and takes about 5 minutes to make. And for most salads, they don't get better in your fridge once you dress them. But this salad does. And that's one of the reasons why I want to share it with you, because it's only going to taste better the longer it sits in your refrigerator. So the first thing that you're going to do is take 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. So you'll take the garlic, instead of crushing it, I just chopped it up into really as small pieces as I wanted. I didn't really want to spend a lot of time on it because this should be done in 5 minutes, right? So let's not spend a lot of time on it. Then you're going to take the juice of 1 lemon, and you can use a fancy lemon squeezer if you have one, or if you can find one. I do have one. I found it. So I'm going to juice the lemon straight into a bowl with garlic. Now, another quick awesome thing about this recipe is if you create the dressing in the bowl you're going to dress the kale salad in, there's only one dish to do. Isn't that awesome? So juice of 1 whole lemon. If you wanted this extra lemony, you could also use some of the lemon zest, but that's not necessary. The next thing that's going to take a little bit of time is grating the cheese. So I'm going to go ahead and put some olive oil in this dressing and salt and pepper. In this case, we're going to kind of skip the salt because we're going to use a lot of Parmesan, and Parmesan is naturally salty. And once this salad is marinated for like 30 minutes, you can taste it. And if you think it needs salt at that point, you can add it. The thing about salt is you can always add more. You can't take it away. Okay, so you don't want to go crazy with the salt at first, at least in this recipe. So this is a block of Parmesan cheese. You could use the pre-grated craft style stuff, but I will tell you this tastes so much better with fresh shaved Parmesan. You can skip this step and buy fresh Parmesan that's grated for you, but that's more expensive. And hey, this is such a quick salad anyway. You could take a couple minutes to grate some Parmesan. This salad would be great with some grilled chicken on the side. You could eat it all week long for lunches. We're going to have it tonight with some tortellini and some grilled Italian sausage because it's going to be an easy thing. I'm going to throw the Italian sausage into my air fryer, and we'll have 1 pan to wash at the end of the day with just the tortellini that's going to cook on the stove. So literally, I've grated probably about a cup of Parmesan, and I'm not even chopping lettuce or kale for the salad. I bought a bag of pre-cut and washed kale. This is a Tuscan kale. It's organic. Sounds really fancy, but skipping this one step is kind of nice. You could also just buy kale that you wash and cut the stem out yourself. This bag comes with pieces of the stem, and because I'm going to let this salad sit for a few days, that doesn't really bother me. Those will kind of break down and become easier to use at that point. So I'm going to throw most of the bag in there. I'm actually going to throw the whole bag in, but I'm not going to mess with that making noise over this recording. And then the last ingredient, other than the Parmesan that we're going to put in, is toasted pine nuts. Here's the one thing that from all of this that you need to learn from this recipe. Don't walk away from the stove when you're toasting pine nuts. Even though you're fantastic like me and you can multitask, do not try to multitask while you are toasting nuts. Pine nuts, pecans, walnuts, whatever you're trying to toast, these things are expensive and you do not want to burn them and have to start over. Thankfully, I caught this while my husband and I were setting up the sound for this video, just before it got to the point of no return where it would be I would call this like highly toasted. You want it moderately toasted, but we'll still eat this. You could use a different nut for this recipe, especially if you have a lot of these ingredients on hand already. You could use a toasted pecan or walnut. The pine nuts make it fancy and they're kind of small, which is nice in this recipe. So literally that's it. We grated some Parmesan, we threw in some pre-cut and washed kale. We chopped up a little bit of garlic and threw in some olive oil and some lemon. And this will taste like a less anchovy-y Caesar salad. It's gonna taste almost exactly like a Caesar salad with a heartier lettuce and one that can just sit in your refrigerator for 2 or 3 days and get better as the days go on. So once you get all those ingredients in there, you can just toss it together. What I typically do, but I'm not gonna take the time to show it to you this way, is I'll let that garlic and olive oil and lemon sit for like 30 minutes before I'll even add the kale. But you don't have to do that, especially if you're gonna let it sit all week. And come on, isn't that beautiful? Throw a chicken breast over it and you have a complete meal. That you can keep dressed in your refrigerator and it'll get better as the days go on. It's a perfect meal prep lunch. Add a lean meat to it and it's a complete meal.